Cellares is mass manufacturing cures for cancer. We're manufacturing cell therapies as a service for biotech companies and pharma companies. Cell therapies started with a lot of excitement in 2017 because of the transformative medical results that they achieved for liquid cancers, lymphomas, leukemias, where we've been seeing patients who've gone through many rounds of chemotherapy who were effectively slated to die and nothing worked. We saw overall response rates of north of 80%, and about half the patients get cured with a single infusion. One infusion and half the patients get cured, meaning they remain cancer-free for more than 5 years. We're now seeing cell therapies move up the treatment plan to early lines of treatment. We're seeing cell therapies expand into the solid tumor space. We're talking about breast cancer, prostate cancer, some of the largest killers of the nation. And then from there also cell therapies are expanding into the autoimmune disease space, which is very exciting because while in oncology a typical patient population is around 10,000 patients per year, in the autoimmune disease space a typical patient population is about 100,000 patients per year. Pharma companies today are unable to meet the total demand for cell therapies because of the lack of automated high-throughput cell therapy manufacturing technologies. And as a result, we see about 20% of patients dying on the wait list, even though there's FDA-approved cell therapies on the market that would most likely cure their cancer. Cellares is the world's first integrated development and manufacturing organization that's abbreviated IDMO. We're a contract manufacturer specializing in cell therapies. What differentiates us from all the conventional CDMOs or contract development manufacturing organizations is a 10x improvement in productivity, meaning we can produce 10 times more cell therapies with the same number of employees and the same facility size as a conventional CDMO, because we've invented novel technology to fully automate cell therapy manufacturing and make it highly scalable and drop the price point by about 50%. Cell therapies today are manufactured in what I would call the artisanal method. You've got teams of scientists spending weeks in very expensive clean rooms using a plethora of disjointed bioprocessing equipment. And each of ththese benchtop instruments handles one unit operation for one patient. And in between, you've got about 50 manual processing steps to produce one drug for one patient. What we've done is we've invented, designed, built and tested a machine called the Cell Shuttle. It fully automates the entire cell therapy manufacturing process from start to finish. So it's a big step forward in the degree of automation and the throughput, where other instruments on the market handle 1 or 2 unit operations for one patient at a time. We handle the entire cell therapy manufacturing process for 16 patients at the same time, and that's what makes it highly scalable. In terms of where we are as a company, we spent about 5 years building the technology, and now we've turned a page from the R&D phase to the commercialization phase of the company. We're dealing with investors at the DFJ Growth who've actually built businesses that are successful and gone through very aggressive growth journeys. So because of that, they give great advice. Within 1 year after coming out of stealth, we signed up 5 large pharma companies that we now have under contract. That's 60% of the pharma companies in our industry, because there's only 8 pharma companies and then about 100 biotechs that are relevant in the cell therapy space. We have 5 of them on the contract. We sign them all up within 1 year. In March of this year, we signed a $380 million deal with Bristol Myers Squibb for commercial scale manufacturing of FDA-approved cell therapies in the US, in Europe, and in Japan. That was a transformational deal for us. Nobody else is getting deals like this in our industry, and what it required us to do is scale up very, very quickly from a mid-stage company operating predominantly out of South San Francisco to a global enterprise where we now have 5 construction projects going on worldwide in the US, in Europe, in Japan, in Malaysia, to actually fulfill on the contract that we just signed. And then we also have a really important milestone coming up about a year from now, where we're going to put the first cell therapies into a human that were manufactured by us by our people in our own facilities in an FDA-regulated environment on the Cell Shuttle, and then infused into humans as part of clinical trials that are run by our customers who are paying us for all of this. And we're building out capacity to produce about 150,000 patient doses per year per drug. Meanwhile, the entire industry last year across all FDA-approved cell therapies that are on the market produced just around 8,300 patient doses. I've known that I wanted to start a company ever since I read Richard Branson's biography when I was 22. 10 years later, I did it when I was 32. And I think what drives me more than anything is purpose. I really care about making a meaningful difference in the world, and the impact of Cellares is that over the course of a decade, millions of patients will live that would have otherwise died. And at the same time, I sell Cellares to investors, employees, customers, and the public at large, and I'm enjoying that role as well.